that's why I'm getting excited about this conference, because everything we're hearing right now is like they're gonna be like, yeah, we delayed these because we're confident in all of this shit we're about to show you in June. So the leaks are getting out of hand.
Ooh, out of hand.
So we wanted to break down our confidence ratings for all of the leaks that are coming out surrounding Xbox and Bethesda. And we're going to get into that here.
I have not seen any of the leaks because I'm not a leak boy.
So I'll be laying it out there for him. Me and Eric will be laying it out there. And we'll kind of be gauging how confident we are in each one of them. Okay, so we'll get right into it with Wolfenstein 3.
What?
Yeah, and not only Wolfenstein 3, but Wolfenstein 3 this year.
Oh, I love Wolfenstein.
And when I first heard this, I was like, there's no way. Like, how could they turn around and do that without us knowing anything about it? But if you think about it, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, came out in 2017. Which is kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. I feel really old.
It does not feel like that.
2017. It'll be 5 years if they release this in October. And so a lot of people would point to Youngblood as...
That's what I was...
like, oh, they've been working on that, so it won't be here that soon. Now, Youngblood was co-developed with Arcane.
I'll say, I
didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a split thing between them and Arcane, so it wouldn't have taken away all the resources. In my mind... of course, we got the announcement of Indiana Jones, and it's coming.
But that's far off, right?
Right. In my mind, they got close enough to the end of Wolfenstein 3 that they were able to move some of the development into pre-production on Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
And I think in this past year, they've been able to come close to finishing up Wolfenstein 3.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah. So in my mind, this is a 9 rating, a 9 out of 10 confidence rating. I'm pretty sure that, I don't know, I might be buying into it too much and getting excited.
Fuck it, I'll buy it.
How believable we think it is?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in this one. Even though we've heard nothing along the way, and this one doesn't have a lot in terms of like insider knowledge, there is just enough of this leak for me to believe it. And Pete Hines said, as soon as that one came out, as soon as New Colossus came out, that there would be another one. That Wolfenstein 3 is happening. He didn't say specifically it was in development, but it was happening.
I know that you don't know, but what are they going to do with the story from Youngblood? Because I played 5 minutes of it, and as a guy who loved the first the first 3 Wolfensteins, Youngblood sucked assholes.
I think that was just them being like, hey, we got this partner, or we're all under the Bethesda umbrella, and we can work with Arcane and see what we can make out of this. And it didn't quite pan out. I don't think the lore is going to matter.
Well, I think
maybe they
if
should.
It does, it'll be like a clip at the beginning of the game.
Right,
that explains what happened.
Hopefully a retcon, because they're his daughters.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to deviate the path of what was happening to BJ at the end of 2.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get 3 in its own way.
Did both y'all beat 2?
I got really close and sadly fell off of it.
I didn't ever. I started to and then I just fell off.
Yeah.
But
for those that have played it, I got to New Orleans, so I don't know how deep that is. Yeah. It's probably pretty deep in the game. I love that game, and I plan on beating it before this one comes out.
I've beat them all like 3 or 4 times.
They're so fantastic games. Machine Games does not get enough credit.
I mean, those games, like, even something as simple as like ducking and leaning under to shoot under a doorway was fucking so fun. And then these like little areas they drop you off in, like, you can stealth. No, sorry, Bob. Yeah. Those Nazis will die by the blade.
Yeah, they give you the option, but I want to go guns a-blazing.
Yeah, I want to murder. I want to fucking dual-wield large shotguns, and I want to blast their faces completely off their body.
My highest praise for them and what they've done is the Wolfenstein games feel like old school meets cutting edge.
Yeah.
Like they're what I loved in those classic regular Xbox games or PS2 games, but feeling new. It's like, most things don't do that well.
Yeah, it's like, if you ever heard someone explain a basketball team, like, why is this team so good? Because it gets the fundamentals.
Exactly.
Like the fundamentals of fun, shooting, movement, everything. It's like, it's not crazy. There's no crazy mechanics, but it's a solid great time.
Yeah, that's a perfect descriptor. And that'll lead me right into Indiana Jones, actually, because some of the rumors, and I feel like this is pretty well should be confirmed in most people's minds, is that Machine Games is stepping away from first-person shooters to make this a third-person shooter. And that's kind of a smaller thing. It's not saying a date. Like, predictions are from 2024 to 2026. We don't know. But I would be extremely happy if this is a third-person game. I don't see any way that Indiana Jones can be a first-person game.
Yeah, especially when you get treasure hunter games like Nathan Drake's.
Yeah.
Uncharted or Tomb Raider. And part of them is the character, like the third person seeing the character, watching the character develop in cutscenes, all this other shit. And then we already have a character in Indiana Jones that's just a rough and gruff, no nonsense. I mean, what do we think of when we think of Indiana Jones? It's the fucking scene where the guy's like doing all this fancy swordplay and he pulls the guns out and shoots him right in his fucking face.
He's the original Nathan Drake. He was the exact thing that was built on.
Yeah.
Eric, what does that take your excitement level from?
So much, because I didn't want it to be first person.
I know.
No.
Like, I thought of you whenever I heard this, and I was like, oh, well, he was dismissing it because he was like, oh, machine games, first person.
Yeah, I don't want it to be first person at all. And then, like, I was just thinking of using the whip to cross gaps and stuff.
Yeah.
Even such a little thing, but that in third person is going to be so cool.
Yeah.
Like, kind of like the grappling hook in Uncharted 4 and stuff. Like, I think that game's going to be really good.
Oh, yeah. We'll get away from the Bethesda talk for a minute. Go into the Coalition. I'm going to go ahead and get to a big one that I'm not super confident about, but I'm really hopeful, and that's that the Coalition is developing a Mandalorian game.
That would be cool.
I've heard this from multiple places. It's been talked about for over a year now, but the Coalition did come out and say they were not making a Star Wars game. Yeah. So that kind of set me back in terms of my confidence rating on all this. But they do that. Developers do that. There's another one we'll talk about in a minute that the developer came out and said, no, we're not making it, but then it's back again. Well, seems pretty sure thing.
The guy that does Super Smash Bros. I can't think of his name right now. But,
Sakurai?
Yeah, Sakurai. He's every one of the Smash games since Brawl has been his last one. So,
yeah, you can't really trust them because they're trying to hide this excitement, this surprise. I'm still pretty low on this one. I do believe that Coalition is working on a Disney, some Disney property, but I'm not sure which one. That's the most likely.
If it wasn't
Mando,
Mando,
any of them.
What else?
But
I don't know. What if it's not?
I mean, it's the Coalition. Right. They make Gears games tough and violent. The gun has a chainsaw on it. What are they going to do? Oh,
I mean, the third-person shooter, it just feels right for Star Wars. I was thinking, what if they made a Pirates game? But I'm like, I don't really. Then that doesn't flow with Coalition gameplay for me.
Just imagine, like, the Mando, the fucking big heavy duty Mando with the jetpack and the machine, it's played by Tate Fletcher.
Cover to cover would work just fine for it. Yeah. I mean, it's the perfect fit. Like, if you had to pick game and studio, like, that's the perfect marriage.
I think the popularity of Mandalorian right now is like leaning for it to be a real thing, because why not go ahead and make a game?
Right.
And I think it for sure could be in the works.
And just a month ago, they announced that Microsoft was getting to make Disney properties into games. So, like, this is the one that everybody knows needs to be a game. Everybody knows that Coalition makes good third-person shooters. Let's do it. But I'd say my confidence rating on this is probably somewhere around a 5. It feels almost too good to be true.
Yeah.
But moving on from that, another thing the Coalition is working on, or speculated to be working on, I'm almost certain of this one, the Phoenix Collection. Yeah. I'm almost certain it's happening, but the real rumors on it right now is that it's a complete remake of all 3 of those games in the Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Which is nuts, and that's why I'm a little lower on that side of it.
Yeah, that's
a huge undertaking. Yeah, that's a full-blown remake of 3 games.
To rebuild an entire, not just one game, 3 entire games. I'm assuming they're going to do there wasn't a lot of DLC with those games, was there?
No, there was no DLC, but
for it's multiplayer, there
Horde,
was.
multiplayer, and campaign. Yeah. That's a lot to ask. I would love it. I mean, maybe they believe that much and that people jumping back into that, but also they're almost certainly working on Gear 6, so that's why I'm like, it's one or the other in my mind.
I can see them passing it off to a different studio before I could see them being the ones that are working on it.
Yeah,
they could also be working, like if they do a Phoenix Collection, they could also do a Judgment Day DLC like Halo Master Chief Collection did with Reach and ODST.
Yeah, I think they're going to leave Judgment behind and hope that no one remembers it, because that's the only blemish on their record as far as Gears go. Next we have rumors of a Quake reboot. This is just like a soft rumor. I think it's destined to happen that they're going to bring back Quake. I just feel like with everything else that's in the air right now, that's my least confident.
Yeah, that's probably. But also it's probably big for PC players.
Also,
it's going to be. I think it'll be an Xbox game too. They want to get people integrated into that community together.
If they do a really good reboot on the original Quake and the original like multiplayer and shit like that, that could be a big game for them.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It could take over. What was you gonna say, Eric?
But Quake, like that, probably the more realistic rumor but my excitement level is not that high
Really?
for Quake.
I would love to have a good dedicated first-person shooter for Xbox. They don't have. I mean, they will after this Activision closes, but this is a different thing. I love the Unreal Tournament games, and Quake's pretty similar on those types of games. I would be excited for it for sure. It's a big enough announcement. They had Quake Champions a few years back. I think 4 years now. So timing-wise, it makes sense. But there's the bigger one that I really, if I'm picking, I want it to be this. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas are rumored to get full remakes in Unreal Engine 5.
Dude, that
not even
in Unreal Engine 5.
In Unreal Engine 5.
Bro, how are they going to put... Dude, just thinking about how bad graphics are in Fallout 3 and they're going to remake it to Unreal Engine 5, that's so much work.
Both of them need it too. Like,
the rumors are that it's In Exile, the makers of Wasteland, that have been working on it, and that's what they've been focusing on. I'm pretty sold on this one. I mean, not like as sold as the Phoenix Collection. I'm almost certain on that one. But I'm like at an 8. I'm pretty confident that we could see, maybe not here, but by the end of the year, I think we could hear about it.
Yeah.
And even if they do one at a time, like release one and then do one later instead of like together.
Yeah.
Because with Game Pass, you don't have to have collections and stuff like that.
Right, I think that's what gives me pause a little bit, is that they're talking about both of the games. But either one of those games, to remake them is a giant endeavor.
Yeah. And Bethesda is also, I don't know if they've lost the thirst to make really good games. They've like with Fallout 76, it feels like to me that they're starting to cash in on their name a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean a little bit.
So this is a good way to cash in, but also maybe reignite that fire making good games, new games.
When you look at Fallout 3 and New Vegas, Fallout in general, it's a Microsoft thing now. Bethesda kind of has to step to the side and let Microsoft dictate how they want to dictate it. And that's why I think In Exile, it makes sense for them to put this team on the remakes here. And Bethesda may not be totally happy about it, because I don't think they were totally happy about the reception of New Vegas being so good. Kind of better than 3.
Yeah, I bet their egos are hurt a little bit. You know, Todd Howard's like, fucking
but they knew what was happening when this deal started to form. But no, I'm pretty confident on this one because it all makes sense. All of the little loose strings that are attached to this make sense. Another thing that I don't fully buy into is that Hellblade 2 is further along than we thought and could come out as soon as December of this year.
I don't buy that either.
It seems a little crazy, but if it's close, I could see them trying to fast track it to get it out there since Starfield was pushed.
Well, it makes you wonder how big this game is going to be, because the first one was about 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah, it's going to be bigger than that.
It's definitely going to be bigger than that, but I mean, it's been, 4 or 5 years since the first one?
Yeah.
4 years?
Well, a lot of the talk is about how the combat is going to be way, way more in depth.
Way better.
Like, they've been working with people that do Jedi stuff, like Jedi Master trainers, like the people that train the people that perform the stuff for Star Wars movies.
Why wouldn't they just go to, like, expert swordsmen? Like,
yeah, I guess they want to have that same. I mean, it's similar.
I think it's kind of plausible, because Xbox is probably scrambling to find something to fill a hole right now.
I still don't think. I mean, I think they might place it there, and then it moves to February or something. Like, I don't know. That's a big game to be going February. The way they've set the scope of this game, it feels like that holiday kind of game.
I feel like at June, when their June conference hits, the rest of the year, I think they're gonna pull together a good year. I think out of this.
That's why I'm getting excited about this conference, because everything we're hearing right now is like they're gonna be like, yeah, we delayed these because we're confident in all of the shit we're about to show you in June. So I hope that's what the case is. But we also could have made them a little bit skittish, and maybe they back off and don't show some of these, because we'd rather not set ourselves up for failure. Okay, a big one for you, Eric, is the Banjo-Kazooie remake by Double Fine.
Yeah. That's where I'll pause. Is Double Fine.
I know.
Well, Double Fine's the people who make Psychonauts,
which sounds so perfect, doesn't it?
It does.
It does. But Tim Schafer said, we're going to leave Rare's games to Rare, is what he said last year. But since then, more has surfaced that they're also making that. They're making some multiplayer game that we don't know about yet. We might hear about this time.
Tim Schafer probably just doesn't want to step on the toes. But if your boss says, hey, you're making this game, you're going to make that game.
Didn't they just buy them last year?
No, it's been a while for Double Fine. Yeah, they could have been working on this for a good while. It was at least 2017, 2018. I would think it was 2018.
For some reason, I thought it was recent.
Because
I guess I associate it with Psychonauts 2 coming out.
Right. Yeah.
Well, it is interesting that they were bought by Microsoft and they weren't like. I'm sure they were pressured, but they weren't pressured to release Psychonauts 2 much earlier, to the point where it sucked ass.
Well, yeah, and they also weren't pressured to put it only on Xbox. That's pretty impressive that people don't talk about.
Well, it's prior deals and all of that too. Like,
I don't know.
Psychonauts 2 was shown before they got bought.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think it was shown at that same conference.
I think it was told that. Yeah, I don't think they showed anything, but
I think they had the first trailer was like. It was like, at the bottom you'll see all the logos for the consoles and stuff. I think it was like already set to go everywhere.
Well,
these contracts are way years out.
Well, Tim Schafer's always said he wanted everyone that to be able to play their games like that. I mean, that may just be jargon, marketing jargon.
The Call of Duties will still go to PlayStation.
Yeah, it just makes sense. Sell them everywhere you can. But if you can't tell, I'm excited. I think y'all are excited. Xbox. Deliver on this, please. Even if half of this stuff hits and is correct, it'd be amazing. I kind of hate seeing all of this stuff because then that's setting me up for a little disappointment. If none of this hits, I will probably go into a depression and sink into my
see, like when you said Wolfenstein, I was hype as fuck. And then when you said full remake and remasters of Fallout 3,
like, oh no way,
dude! I was like, this is not gonna happen. Because if it did happen, which I pray, I'll go to bed at night and pray about it. I hope it happens because it's an amazing.
I think with all of these things, the thing that makes it so easy to believe it is it makes so much sense. All of them make so much sense the way they're connected together. But we'll just have to see. We only got about 2 weeks to find out. We hope you enjoyed our 2 cents on the matter. We could be completely wrong. I mean, the leaks could be completely wrong. But if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
2 cents.